Okay, so I'm going to preface this video with a warning. Never play this deck ever. This is probably the most horrible deck ever. It's very, very, very weak. It's Cloudians, obviously. And there's just I just didn't really see any way I could do it, but I figured I'd try it out anyways. This deck was a torture to make. This deck was torture to play. And this deck was torture to win 6 matches with, which is probably the most impressive thing I've done all day. So, the thing about Cloudians is they're fairy water types. So, they're not aquas, so I can't really do much with that. And they're not light fairies, so I can't draw easily with them, which kind of sucks. You've got your Smoke Ball, your Atlas, Storm Dragon, Turbulence, and Acid Cloud, and they all suck. But I wanted to see if I could make Princess Sprite or Dullahan, and so I threw in the Rescue Rabbit. And it worked out pretty well because it gave a target for Cloud Dragon to banish. And since they're all waters, they can make Bahamut Shark, who gets Treat Toad. What sucks is I played like so many hero players today just running Bahamut Shark, Treat Toad too, which really sucked. Another thing about them is they all have 0 defense, so I can run Masked Chameleon in this deck, and I can sync or XC summon, which is nice. And since they're all fairies, I can abuse Christia with that. But I never really got Christia off. Another thing about them being fairies is that I could use Celestial Transformation well. And around halfway through playtesting this deck, I decided that it needed some board wiping capabilities, so I just threw in 2 Dark Holes and a Raigeki. That's really all I have to say about that part. 3 Instant Fusion allows me to target Norden or the Rare Fish. Norden's the only thing that made this deck possible, you know. Saved lives, saved a million times. Instant Fusion top decks are usually the ones, are usually the duels I won. And then you got a bunch of a small trap lineup to deal with things. I was originally playing 3 Call, I just couldn't, and then you got your Cupidity. If you feel like trolling, go ahead and play this deck, but it sucks. It's bad. I tried my hardest to make Cloudians good, and it just didn't work out. You know, I mean, it's nowhere near the level of like lower tier decks I've been playing recently. One of my friends said, "Hey, why don't you make Hungry Burger deck? A Hungry Burger deck? You know that little joke ritual monster that everyone talks about because it's pretty crap." I put that in Synchro Quasar and make Beatrice with it. So that's not like what turned out to be a joke usually goes on to be a realistic goal. Not this. This was a joke. This is not a realistic goal. Trimid, that was a joke. Well, no, not really, actually. Trimid wasn't necessarily that much of a joke. It was more of a idea. It's kind of started off this small series. Don't play Cloudians. Please, just don't play Cloudians. And, by the way, I'm also, taking suggestions for the next deck after Burger Synchro deck. Yeah, that's what it's called. Burger Synchro.
Clouds!